And we are wrestling with WWE WrestleMania 39, Night 1 and 2. Um,
Uh, um, we can confirm now that I called it last week. Night one is going to kick off with John Cena and Austin Theory.
so Kaliko knows what night he's getting closer tickets for. Nice. Um, it's not as clean as it was last year, where everything was set up. Things are a little bit more up in the air as they was compared to last year, but as a whole, how do you feel this build-up has been, Escudo?
Honestly, this screams WrestleMania 20 to me.
Hmm.
Because if you remember, WrestleMania 20 didn't have that much build up. I mean, literally, the build up started at the Royal Rumble. Just like it has here. Um, Tag teams being thrown into random matches, people being thrown into random tag teams. Um, yeah, I mean, okay, I mean, it doesn't feel as concrete as it should be. For example, okay, let's take Logan Paul and Seth Rollins. Why why should we care? I mean, is it because it'll give us a chance to drink Prime? Drink Dante. Uh, um, it's like, okay, yeah, we know Logan Paul is an asshole. We also know Logan Paul is quite a decent entertainer when it comes to the world of pro wrestling. I'm not going to deny him that.
Correct.
And odds are it's gonna be a good match.
It might be the match of the 2 days.
But but yeah, the match itself does not a match make. I mean, this is a, this is almost the equivalent of, oh, you spilled the cup of coffee on me. Now we're wrestling at Survivor Series.
I mean, they can't all be Cody and Roman, I suppose.
Yes, but there could be at least some kind of story. You know,
I
the
mean,
match that's most invested story wise is Sammy and KO against the Usos.
that's right. But like what I'm seeing is, obviously they only have Logan Paul for, extended periods of time that they can really only build certain things. So I mean,
Until we get to Backlash and get Bad Bunny.
yes. Um. So I mean, what they have hit the mark, I would say. I mean, he eliminated Seth Rollins from the Royal Rumble. Number one gripe. Second gripe is, he attacked him and cost him the United States Championship in the Elimination Chamber. So, I mean, the foundation is there. It's
Yeah.
just maybe the walls are a little more creakier than you would like them to be.
I mean, people are saying thank you, Logan, for that because yeah, the U.S. title's beneath Seth at this point.
I will, I
I
will,
mean,
I will say this about WrestleMania. I don't feel like WrestleMania has had so many story heavy uh, components to it in a really long time. Um, and yeah, there's some bad shit on there, and yeah, there's some shit that got messed up because plans. But the matches that people do actually want to see, the ones that were projected to be that we thought was going to be, they are on the card, and the build up hasn't disappointed, in my opinion. Anything you want to
Yeah,
add to that?
um, yeah, I'd agree. Um, uh, Interesting factoid: if John Cena becomes the first superstar to challenge for the same title in the opening matches of a WrestleMania,
Really?
and when he did it the first time, it was the first title he won.
Yes.
This could be the last title he wins.
This is also correct. Well, since all the matches aren't exactly confirmed for each night, we're just gonna go through the matches that are confirmed for WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. And let's start with the matches that you are probably going to, take a rest on. The break matches, as they call them. We got Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez versus TBA and TBA and TBA, TBA,
Oh, oh,
TBA, and
and
TBA.
this just in also announced TBA.
That's too many TBAs, Scooter.
Fine, BVDs.
It'd be great if they had RVD.
I know, I said BVDs, as in the underwear.
Hmm. Um. So, yeah. Who do you think Liv Morgan's gonna win?
Um, Hopefully, enough to leave it to my imagination.
Yes. Um.
Because
So,
I'm destined to be Liv Morgan's sugar daddy.
what do you think they haven't announced the rest of the people in this match? Is it because they're still on the fence if Ronda is actually going to be in this match?
I mean, as of last night, Natalia and Shotzi are a team in it. Ronda and Shayna are a team. But as far as we know, Ronda is still technically injured.
Do you think that they're wasting Ronda Rousey in a essentially a throwaway match?
No, because I fucking hate Ronda Rousey to begin with. Um,
Fair enough.
I mean, maybe she'll learn to not call her spots so loudly.
But if Ronda is indeed in this match, her and Baszler are going to win, correct?
No, no, oh no. Uh, it, they gotta start putting real roots down between one pair of these women, but it's not going to be Ronda and Shayna.
As a
I mean,
viable threat for the tag team titles, you mean?
I mean, unless you're planning on doing something along the lines of Ronda and Shayna against Trish and Lita,
Oh,
and quite honestly, I think it should have been Trish and Lita, against some combination of the horsewomen.
what are your
Yeah,
thoughts
yeah.
on Becky and Lita competing on night one with Trish in the triple threat match, and then competing the next night in this fatal 4-way tag match and putting their titles on the line?
You mean you mean the 6-man tag, not the triple threat?
Yeah.
Um, I'm wondering if 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 they're going to start bridging Becky and Seth to get together again. Um, in anticipation for some crossover of a match. Um, I unless it ends up being Trish and Lita, and they end up winning the titles, and Becky is out of it.
I mean, how? She's tag team champion with Becky. It's Becky and Lita. You have to eliminate
You
Trish and.
can't you cannot you can't tell me that it feels a little bit out of place
Well,
that in this trio it's Becky and Lita that are the champs and not Lita and Trish.
well, of course, Becky is the one that you need on the show. That's the only reason they brought back Lita is to give her an attraction match. That wasn't, and Sasha was obviously not available because this was definitely
Now,
Sasha's, role in WrestleMania if she was there, was to be
the
Becky's partner.
I mean they were going to do, as far as I've read, it was going to be Trish and Lita against Becky to partner, or it's going to be Trish and Becky. Oh man, I don't see why they can't put the tag titles on the line again in uh in a 6-woman tag match.
Because it's a 6-woman tag match for 2 belts, unless they make them trios.
They've had 6-man tag matches for the WWE Championship, where whoever scored the pinfall on the team won. King of the Ring 99.
No, we're so past 91.
Um,
I think it's a possibility that we might see Becky and Lita defend the titles and maybe even drop the belts to somebody on night two if their match is night one. That's my thoughts on it.
mm, I don't think one or the other. They're both the women's showcase and the 6-woman tag. They're not going to be in the same night.
Alright, let's talk about the men's. We got Braun Strowman and Flippy Ricochet, the Street Profits, Alpha Academy, and the Viking Raiders. Who wins here? And do you
Maximum
actually
male models.
because they plucked what is his name?
Otis.
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 Otis. Yeah, whatever. Uh, if this could we see hypothetically Alpha Academy or Strowman and Ricochet out of this match, and like I said, throw in Randy Orton in there and Riddle. Because Randy Orton
And
is
then,
scheduled to be there, and I mean, why would Randy Orton not want to be on the biggest show of the year?
okay, true. But Riddle still nowhere to be seen.
Yes, but
Still out. And
they'll hire a private detective to fucking find him if Randy Orton wants to wrestle.
but if they follow this pattern, then it's going to be Cody and Randy at SummerSlam.
Possibly.
Uh, and at whichever pay per view comes after WrestleMania now,
Backlash.
which is in, yeah, in Puerto Rico, I'm going to assume that main event is actually going to be Cody and Gunther.
Okay, but where does Randy Orton fit on this card?
He doesn't. There is nowhere where Randy could fit except the Hell in a Cell match.
What, rehash Edge and Orton?
No, Randy takes over Judgment Day.
Hmm, interesting. Well,
Um, I mean, there's nowhere else. There's nowhere else that he fits.
the Strowman Ricochet, the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Showcase match. Who wins that?
Alpha Academy with Otis winning by accident.
I'll go with the Street Profits. Alright, Intercontinental Championship match. Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Who wins, Scooter?
I am I'm actually very interested in this match. I do have to say though that on SmackDown they threw away Gunther and Butch's first one-on-one match on main roster television.
Considering what a big match that was in NXT.
And considering that Butch is seen apparently after WrestleMania, Butch is going back to be done. So,
Butch is
uh,
gonna be done? Wow, news to me.
uh, but they will be uh, the winner will be the first person to claim the bucket filled with Ridge Holland's waxed hair. Um, this I think this clearly has Sheamus winning all over it.
Really, I saw McIntyre winning.
McIntyre doesn't need it.
He doesn't need it, but I think people would like to see, one of the top baby faces win a title at WrestleMania.
Uh, and if Sheamus were to win, he would be cheered because it's the last title left that he hasn't won.
True.
They've made a point of mentioning that at every opportunity.
Right. And this is going to be a banger of a match. Well, I mean, it is the Bengal Bros in it, so. Um, does whoever does win, does Gunter not eat a pin here? Do they protect Gunter from actually losing the title without getting pinned?
It's a possibility. Um, I do see, I do see Sheamus and Drew, uh, picking the feud up for one more pay per view at Backlash.
Quite possibly, yes.
Um, you take Gunther out and you do the thing where you start pushing the runner up from the Royal Rumble as as a contender in the months leading up to before SummerSlam. Cody Gunther at Money in the Bank, maybe.
And Gunter would get a pop because, he is from the UK.
Yeah.
That's not a
Well,
bad
no,
idea.
he's not.
He's from Austria.
Austria. That's not in the UK.
The same thing.
No.
Yes, absolutely. Um,
You son of a bitch.
uh, so you're going Sheamus, I'm going McIntyre.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, United States Championship match: Austin Theory versus John Cena. Who wins, Scooter?
In theory.
I feel like John Cena was there just a little bit more than he has, which is literally just coming to set up the match and that's it. There might have been a chance that he would win the match, but since he's not there, then yeah, Theory. All right, Becky, Lita, and Trish versus Damage Control. Who wins, Scooter?
Trish, Lita, and Becky.
Yeah. So, no Dakota Kai and Io Sky.
Mm, no.
Okay. Um, Arguably one of the more interesting matches on the card with a lot of build up. Um, Almost a year at this point. The Real Devil, Edge, versus the Demon, Finn Balor, in a Hell in a Cell match. It's gonna be a great fucking match if it's done right. And it does seem like a lot of the shit Edge has done has been right. Um, but what say you, Scooter? Who wins?
This has to be where Edge finally he puts it to bed and Finn gets the comeuppance.
I think it's time that yeah, I think Edge wins this one, considering that he lost the I Quit match. All right, Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
Brock, move on.
Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul.
I mean, Logan Paul's got one of the worst records in WWE history. Um,
I mean, he won last year at WrestleMania,
oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting the tag with Miz was a win.
and he
Um,
beat The Miz at SummerSlam as well.
that doesn't count. Um,
It was on the second biggest show of the year.
doesn't count. La 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 la. Um, Seth, and I kind of hope we have a Sting situation here.
Oh, no, no.
It can't be it. Oh, really? When we get to the father versus son match,
Well,
believe me, you'll think of something much worse.
Seth, I'm going with Seth to win the match.
Yeah, I'm going with Seth. Yes.
Hypothetically speaking, do you think Logan Paul might go have a run in AEW where he fights Moxley?
God no. I mean, if that were ever happen, we would we would be witnessing a murder.
I know what you mean. I'm
Logan,
concerned about how much Moxley bleeds, and that might be that where his time comes
uh,
up.
it's it's not that. It's the fact that they'll convince Logan to bleed, but they won't tell him how to,
Properly do it.
control it.
Yeah.
And we have the first ever, and your winner via blood loss.
Oh my god. It's a Texas death.
Your your winner via first, second, third, fourth, and fifth blood.
Um. So we're both in agreement for Seth Rollins.
Yes.
Right. Raw Women's Championship match: Asuka versus Bianca Belair. Honestly, this is probably going to be a great match. The bad part of it was to say that the build up for this match was lackluster is an understatement. It was complete and utter garbage. And to say that this is going to be a big marquee match is just not true at this point. Not to say, that Idol Girl did anything, but it's just not there. Um, that being said, Scooter, who do you think wins?
Does Asuka break her WrestleMania losing streak? No. Bianca wins.
My heart is telling me Asuka, and my brain is telling me Belair. She's had it for a year. I think she has to. It's time to drop it to Asuka. Give her her WrestleMania moment. I mean, she wouldn't have put that makeup on if she didn't want to win a title. All right.
Very, very true.
I think it's time we talk about the matches that haven't been confirmed yet. Which there are a couple, and we spoke a little bit already about Randy Orton. But Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio, that's definitely happening, right, Scooter?
Yep.
All right, who wins?
Paraguayo. Uh, I mean, they've done a great job of making Dominic this annoying little spoiled brat. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they start throwing condoms in the ring afterwards. Ex
Condoms?
condom. Yep. uh,
Probably I wasn't the only one on Reddit.
you know, if you think Dominic is winning, I'd like to sell you a bridge.
I mean, why? The only what does Rey Mysterio get out of beating his own son at WrestleMania?
Hurting motherfuckers? I don't know.
What does Dominic get out of beating his father? Beating one of the all-time great wrestlers of all time, current Hall of Famer, world champion at the biggest show of the year. I think I
I
think
mean,
Dom has to win.
well, we'll know for sure if Dom pops out with a skeleton that's labeled Eddie Guerrero.
Well, he might be coming with maybe perhaps a fossil in his real biological mother, Vicky Guerrero. Um, the other match, rumored, not yet confirmed, probably not happening at this point. Bray Wyatt versus Bobby Lashley. Um, what the hell's going on with Bray Wyatt? It seems like he sets up these rivalries that last for years on end, and then he gets hurt doing literally fucking nothing, and it all goes to waste. Your thoughts, Scooter?
Uh, I mean, unless they're planning on doing something in last minute, I don't know what to think anymore about it.
Do you think if we don't see Bob, Bray Wyatt wrestle, um, they're not gonna let Bobby Lashley off of this card? Who replaces Bray Wyatt? Is that where you put Randy Orton?
That'd be interesting because Lashley and Orton haven't feuded.
It would basically be like the Seth Rollins Cody match, where Bobby's like, I ain't being off this card. Somebody come out here so I could beat them up, and then
Oh,
hear
okay.
I hear voices.
Here's something. We end up getting Bray and Lashley, but it ends up being a tag team match. Bray and Uncle Howdy against Bobby Lashley and a partner of his choosing. That's where you put Randy.
How would he come to the conclusion of saying Randy Orton unless Randy Orton just literally came up to him and said, "Put me in this match"?
Because the match wouldn't because the challenge would be issued on the kickoff show.
Hmm. What are the chances of Undertaker coming and whispering something in Bray's ear and then Bray just leaves?
Uh, I mean, considering that he may have to call the Undertaker about it. Oh wait, no, but that's what the Undertaker said. My phone's always open, brother.
But he said, I tell your dad I use TurboTax. Um, but okay, that's one thing on the slate. The other one, another thing that's rumored is LA Knight. LA Knight is, making a bid to be at WrestleMania. You can't have an LA WrestleMania without LA Knight. Um, Rumor.
Okay,
Huh?
me. All right, that's where you put Orton. Then.
I swear to God, that's going to be the name of the episode. That's where you put Orton. Um, does it's if you believe in rumor in innuendo, Stone Cold is going to answer that challenge. Now he didn't say that it was out of the question. He didn't say he was doing it, but he didn't exactly say no, he wasn't. Scooter, do we get Stone Cold versus LA Knight at WrestleMania?
No, we get The Rock.
I could have sworn we said that he wasn't going to be there.
He's not. Um,
Could it be Black China?
it might be Purple China for all we know at this point.
Gamora?
That would be Green China.
So there's a possibility. There's a tease there. There's also three big other. There's other names that are not featured on the card that we haven't heard from for quite some time. AJ Styles. Uh,
Injured. Ankle. Still out.
is he?
Yep.
He literally just made a Snickers commercial.
He didn't literally make it. That's been in the can quite a while. But, no matter how much you want to, don't ever come out of the bathroom sniffing your finger.
This is correct. Um, but I mean, it was just an ankle. He just broke his ankle. It like he was supposed to be
Do
out for
you do
5 weeks.
you know how do you know how bad an ankle injury can be?
Apparently, I do not.
Especially when you're getting up there in age like AJ is. Let's face AJ isn't air rating anymore.
So you don't expect to see AJ Styles and or Big E on this card.
Big E possibly. I expect uh, I expect the New Day to interfere in Miz's WrestleMania the musical.
That makes sense. So if LA Knight, if it's not going to be Stone Cold, if it's not going to be Randy Orton, who does LA Knight wrestle at WrestleMania?
If if he's able to, I mean, uh, Gargano.
No, it has to be somebody big. I would
He's
possibly.
got a bigger heart. He's got a bigger heart than the tallest man.
You might.
Uh,
You
uh,
should see a
uh,
doctor
uh,
about that.
Dabakato.
I would say Jay White, but that would. I feel like that would only pop a certain amount of the crowd.
I
But
mean, if
if you know who Cody, if you followed Cody, you know where he was in AEW. But if you didn't follow what Cody was doing in AEW, you still know who Cody was because you watched WWE. You know what I mean? Jay White is kind
it's,
of, if you follow him, then yeah. But if you don't know who he is, you don't know who he is.
I mean, and considering that AEW is now running a feud between Ricky Starks and Juice Robinson, um,
Because that would put asses in seats.
The odds of this being Cameron Grimes and
That's
them
debatable.
running back their feud.
Is there a possibility of Shawn Michaels?
No. Are you kidding? If he's not going to wrestle Grayson Waller,
And why the fuck would he want to wrestle Grayson Waller at Stand and Deliver when WrestleMania is literally up the road?
because Sean knows he can't go anymore.
I, I believe that
He
he
is
believes
literally
that.
he is the Danny Glover of the WWE. He is literally too old for this shit. You have a better chance of Triple H. Oh no. Oh no.
What, Triple H versus LA Knight?
No. Vince.
Oh god, Vince McMahon versus LA Knight? How would that work?
Or Pat McAfee.
Oh, yeah, Pat. I can't believe I forgot about Pat.
Um, Also the possibility of
Bad Bunny?
no. If they're gonna start anything with between Bad Bunny and somebody, it's gonna be on Raw
Okay,
because they're gonna want to focus on building into one of the first pay per views from in quite some time in Puerto Rico. Um,
since 2005.
I would say there's a chance Baron Corbin hijacks this
Oh god, no.
since he's been trying to. Um, and maybe JBL decides to start backing LA Knight.
And then have an LA Knight Cameron Grimes tag team.
That could work. But then I'm afraid we'll end up getting a Pat McAfee Baron Corbin tag team.
I don't think Pat McAfee would go for that.
Um, Keith Lee.
I think he retired to become a priest.
I mean, they've got Wesley and Dragon Lee in a match already. Just bring in Keith.
The Lees. Oh my god. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Uh,
So the,
hold on, wait. If they go for the cheap pop, Rikishi.
could Rikishi come back in something that doesn't involve the bloodline?
No, but he'd come out to, you look fly today.
I think that would only work if they brought Scotty 2 Hotty with him.
Which would be interesting because maybe he's due to go into the Hall of Fame.
You know, Too Cool should go into the Hall of Fame. It act,
Yes.
they
Oh,
actually,
absolutely.
whether Rikishi is a part of that or not, Brian Christopher and Scotty 2 Hotty,
Scott Taylor. Yeah.
they deserve it.
Or Scott Taylor.
Yeah. Alright, should we go back to matches that are actually confirmed?
Sure, why not?
All right. Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match: The Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And my God, have they built this match to the moon? In the words of Cameron Grimes. Uh, like wow. This is one of the more heavily invested matches, maybe even to the point where it's more invested than the Cody Roman match at this point. Uh, that being said, who wins Riddle?
Given the track record here, if 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 Sammy and KO don't win, you're gonna hear the probably the loudest boos ever.
You might not be wrong about that.
I mean, this is the ultimate feel good story and a redemption story at the same time.
Right.
And it not only does it yeah, 3/4 of the way close the book on Sammy and the Bloodline, but it closes the book on a full cycle of Sammy and KO, because since they've done everything else, the last thing the last thing they have to do is acquire those tag team titles.
Right. I mean,
You want one of your feel good WrestleMania moments. That's it. Sammy and KO for the win.
I just have this like I can only imagine what the entrance is gonna be for Sammy and Kevin. Like actually have the an actual marching band play Sami Zayn's music for
See, yeah. KO is a simple man. He doesn't like the flashy entrances.
yeah, but you can't deny that it would add that just that much more listening to the song being played live or as they come down to the ring.
Like I maybe it's not being played live, but I imagine a bunch of people in Sammy shirts, almost like Cena's WrestleMania 25 entrance,
Oh yeah,
and and then finally two people unroll a banner that's got the picture of the Usos on it, and Sammy and Kevin just burst through it like they were a football team.
well, I agree with you with the feel good moment of, obviously Sammy and Kevin winning the tag team championships. And if that has, I feel like that's the only choice at this point. If the Bloodline is going to lose, they're going to lose everything. And it starts with the Usos losing these titles. Um, that being said, and we'll get to Charlotte and Rhea in a minute. Some say that Rhea and Charlotte should main event night one of WrestleMania. There's another
No,
there's another half that people believe that Sammy and Kevin should. I'm I'm under that agreement as well that Sammy and Kevin should main event night one. What are your thoughts, Scooter?
Yeah, you can't you can't say that Charlotte and Rhea has had an interesting build because they're relying on their previous matches, which is a terrible thing to do. Um, so, man, it just uh, Rhea has been split between being Domi's mommy and clamoring for attention from Charlotte.
Well, let's get into it. Let's start the conversation. SmackDown Women's Championship match: Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. And like you said, I feel like Rhea was poised for this position. I feel like she was, the second underneath Charlotte and all, the top girls to actually hold a championship. You know, get that underneath her belt, be that person she needs to be. Be that monster heel women's champion. Um, but since she's been feuding with Charlotte, whether it is like you said, maybe her spreading herself too thin at this point with being mommy and feuding and also feuding with Charlotte, she just feels like she's less than Charlotte when she should have been felt like an equal to her. You kind of understand what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely do, and I think I'm gonna compare this to a really watered down version of the WrestleMania trilogy between The Rock and Stone Cold.
Well, Charlotte beats her twice, and then Bria gets the last win.
Yes,
And then she tells her she loves her when she beats her. Um,
perhaps.
yeah, but at the Royal Rumble, if you told me, I would say at that moment, Rhea Ripley winning the Royal Rumble, I would say Rhea's going to win the whatever championship she goes after. Because seeing her in this feud and seeing her still not live up to Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte still making her look so little in front of her, I feel like Charlotte's got this match won.
I think it's gonna go to Rhea. It shouldn't, but I think it's gonna go to Rhea.
Hindsight being 2020, should this have been Bianca and Rhea,
Yes,
and run it back Charlotte versus Asuka?
yes.
You know that that would have been a bad idea.
I mean, this honestly, this could have been hell. I would even say, you could have done Becky Bailey.
I feel like they wasted that on Raw.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, we said that Sammy and Owens versus the Usos should main event night one of WrestleMania. But in in actuality, do you believe that they are, or do you think it's going to be Charlotte and Rhea?
I don't think it's gonna be Charlotte or Rhea at all. I do think it's going to be the Usos against Sammy and KO, um, or it's going to be the Hell in a Cell match.
Hmm. Fair enough.
Or if they're really ballsy, they do Logan and Seth.
No, definitely not.
Well, then Logan and Seth should be moved to night two.
Um. All right. That brings us to the main event. The undisputed WWE Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Who wins who?
We've gone through this for
Over 6 months.
2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years of saying, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's Roman's time to lose. It's Roman's time to lose," and it never was until now. I said if the Usos don't lose, you're gonna hear boos. If Cody doesn't win, there's gonna be a riot bigger than a bunch of ECW fans cornering John Cena.
Hmm.
The sign of the night will be if Cody doesn't win, we riot. And I mean, hell, it's LA, man.
We're known for our riots.
Yes. Oh man, I love that sports ball team, the LA Riots.
It does seem like a missed opportunity. Um, I don't remember what we said for the uh, WrestleMania review of last year, but I feel like we've been talking about Cody winning this title for over a year at this point. It's
Yeah.
if not a year, then definitely close to it.
No, literally, we've started from the moment we saw him come up in the Cody Vader. That's an elevator with Cody, not Cody on top of Leon White.
Hmm. Um.
New gimmick, Cody Vader.
Um. So yeah, this is the moment. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Um, some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this, and it is upon us. Cody will win the undisputed WWE Universal
Why don't you
Championship.
try flying without wings?
Well, Cody is the wind beneath my wings, so if he's not here,
Wrong. No, I'm sorry. We were looking for the song put out by the winner of season 3. Since we were going from American Idol winners, you picked the season 1 song. I picked the season 2 song. Therefore, you lose. Good day, sir.
I don't even I don't even remember what Carrie Underwood sang at the door of American Idol.
Uh, I believe it was "Sit on My Face." No.
Will you stop it? Alright, yeah, that's the full preview of WrestleMania 39. This could either be one of the best WrestleManias of all time, or it could be the drizzling shits if things don't come together. I hope it's the former, but we'll see. And we'll be doing a full review of WrestleMania next not next week, but in 2 weeks, and that will conclude
Uh,
our coverage of WrestleMania in this episode
of
as
the,
well.
and the top. By the way, the top bet on DraftKings. Will it rain?
As somebody that's been in that lives here, and it has
No,
not stopped
it won't.
raining since December. It's a very good possibility.
Somebody building an ark.
The Kodiak. Well,
You
of
get
course,
two of every title on board.
thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Road Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Boilo Del Mar. Wednesday, Silas Mason, and on Thursday, a watch along with Vlogbro University, Jack Tomlinson and Dante Drago. And then next Saturday, a watch along of Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks from WrestleMania 32. And we might have a few more things coming out during that week as well. Check out whatever we might have on Monday and on Friday as well. Um, and you can follow the show at Wrestling with Epo on Twitter and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and a hell of a lot more. You can follow me personally at JamesC993. Where can we find Scooter?
As always, find me on Twitter at ScooterDust. Keep an eye to my Twitter for details about the remix and its future. And as always, revel in season 2 of my Twitch antics. My Dungeons and Dragons campaign begins. Season 2 of it begins April 4th, uh, along with Rico Constantino Jr. and the rest of the Smoking Dragons clan. Twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Inner King.
Botanical.